CBW Productions presents Odin's Hall. Produced by CBW. Written by Wyatt Bowden.
Wait, I'm confused about something.
Shocking.
If Fenrir is indeed this great wolf, why did he appear mortal to the Aesir?
You obviously don't remember your grandfather's stories about the world of the gods as well as you think. Loki was a Jotun himself, yes?
I remember plenty! The Loki was half Jotun because of his mother, the goddess Lauffey. But the Jotun magics, inherited from his father, came in handy as part of his powers of mischief. Magics such as shape-shifting.
Then what's to say that his son, the Great Wolf, didn't inherit some of those magics?
You are both on the correct trail, but have missed the destination.
Enlighten us then.
Fenrir would one day inherit his own power as part of being Loki's kin, but the sorcery at work was that of his mother's design. Loki's estranged wife, Argroboda.
But why go through all the trouble of sneaking him in someplace so dangerous for his survival?
Loki could have been desperate for a solution. Or perhaps he genuinely believed his cleverness could convince the All-Father that his son was no threat to him.
Not bloody likely.
I'm sorry?
Just rambling to myself. Pay me no mind.
Still, you would be surprised, young lord, what lengths a parent will go to for their child's safety.
Looking for something?
Nothing that concerns you, trickster.
Tell me, Heimdall, why do you always look at me with such contempt?
Perhaps I just don't understand why the king has allowed you to attain so high a place in his court.
While you are out here guarding the gate? Is that what you were going to say? Perhaps it has to do with my cunning intellect? Perhaps Javi just feels sorry for me and what he did to my kin when I was a boy? Or perhaps it has nothing to do with me at all. Perhaps you just aren't that important. Ooh, touchy, Heimdall. Well, perhaps I might have deserved that. My apologies.
What are you doing here, Loki?
I have been tasked with a sensitive mission from the High One regarding the incident involving Balder.
Why by your Mir's grace would he ever trust you with anything important given your past history?
Well, I would tell you, but shouldn't you already know?
Loki, a question if I may.
If you must.
Your childish taunt reminded me of something I've been quite curious about. The High One once tasked a sorceress to devise special crystals that would allow the king and his family to shield themselves from my gaze, should they so desire. They are the royal family after all, it's not unnatural for them to want privacy.
Impressive. I never knew.
Truly you did not? Fascinating.
What is fascinating?
I've just always found it very curious that there are times where I could see you wherever you are, and times where I cannot, as if you were just to vanish and reappear out of thin air.
Are you accusing me of something, Heimdall?
No. Of course not. I've no proof to accuse you with.
Then, if there's nothing else... Yes?
Know this, Lauffey son. Should I ever obtain said proof, I will do far more than accuse you. I will not hesitate to cut you down like the unruly weed you are.
How colorful. Now, if you will excuse me, I have important work to do.
My work is more important than you'll ever know.
Keep telling yourself that, dear gatekeeper. Oh, by the way, Javi has requested your presence in case you had not heard. Take me as you will, but we both know it is unwise to avoid him.
I am not avoiding him. I just have a few more leads to look into before I feel comfortable giving a report for this investigation.
I see. Well, don't take too long to wrap it up. We both know Javi doesn't exactly value insubordination outside of the family.
Foul serpent! What does he know? I'm just as valuable as anyone else in his family. Aren't I?
To Loki, it would have been but a few hours since he left Asgard. But time shifts differently in the realm of the dead. A few hours was already a few days to that of the Aesir. Odin had not left his chambers during that time, as his restless mind was agog with any and every thought one might have after being confronted with the supposed instrument of your downfall. For once, the Wraithen King genuinely did not know how to proceed.
Allfather? Oh, Lord of Justice. I did not expect to see you here.
Sif, what brings you to the hall?
I had heard from Thor that all was not well.
Sadly, that is so. But was there something you needed?
I have not seen Thor in a couple of days, and wondered if he might be here. He was in quite a mood when he left home, so I became concerned. Also, it's embarrassing, but I had hoped to see the Allfather and check on how he was doing.
Really? Are you and the High One that close to share such concern?
Well, I wouldn't say we're close, but I do spend a great deal of time here. His presence has been great company during my lonelier times. I just wanted to be able to offer the same to him.
I see. My dear, I think it best that you go for the time being.
But the Allfather...
Will be more than happy to receive you another day. Trust me, child. You shouldn't be here at present. Especially when he has not given you permission to enter in his absence.
Then why are you here?
To provide counsel, as is my function within this kingdom. Though as things are continuing to develop, I fear he may need far more than I can give.
Then perhaps I could be of assistance. Maybe seeing a more friendly face during these darker times could cheer him up and help him see your side more clearly.
No. Generous though that may be, I think it best that you leave for now. This isn't the place for you.
My place isn't here. It isn't wherever my husband goes when he leaves me for months at a time. Where exactly is my place supposed to be?
I'm very sorry. I wish I had an answer for you.
Could you at least offer me a reason as to why I cannot be here beyond just royal etiquette?
There are delicate matters that have transpired since the gathering that I do not believe would be suitable for others to bear witness to. Believe me, if the king does care for you as you do for him, he would not wish for you to see him this way.
I did not send for you.
No, I knew you would be too stubborn to do that. So I waited for when you would inevitably return.
If you are here to be snide, then I suggest you leave, for I am in no mood.
And I am afraid I can't abide that.
You can't?
I won't. Not when my king is clearly in desperate need.
Your king is fine and perfectly able to determine what he needs as he sees fit.
Then as your friend, as someone you claim to call your brother, I would be remiss in my duties if I abandoned you when you clearly needed someone.
Whatever it is you came here to say, just spit it out already.
Alright, straight to the point then. Your behavior towards Loki's son demonstrated a clear and utter lack of sense.
Excuse me?
You acted as if you had lost all reason within your mind. You behaved as though you had gone mad.
You dare question my mental acuity?
What am I left to think when your actions are so irrational? It's not as though you had actually given care to explain yourself.
As your king, I owe you nothing.
As your friend, you owe me more than that if I am to remain on your side.
Oh, so you would turn on me then?
I would never turn against you, but I need something. Anything to give explanation to why you reacted the way you did once you found out the identity of Loki's son. In your ravings, you insisted that he wasn't a boy at all, but then only hinted at something more sinister. I would love to know what you meant by that, if you didn't always insist upon so much damn secrecy. This is exactly what I mean. I am not blind to the fact that your first instinct is to always hide the truth. But right now, that is not a habit you can afford to keep. Odin, brother, I can't help you if you don't talk to me. Please, tell me what burdens you.
You are familiar with the work of the Nanir, correct?
Of course. They are the sorceresses that foretold of our final days.
Well, that's not all they foretold. They have seen my death, brother.
But isn't Ragnarok itself already supposed to be the death of us all? What could they have said further on the matter to unsettle you so fiercely?
Knowing of death and exactly how you will die aren't precisely the same thing.
Then do elaborate. What's changed?
Due to the most recent unpleasantness, they have said the course of Fimbulvetir has shifted closer, and now the cause of my death made ever more clear.
By unpleasantness, I assume you refer to the recent attack from the Jotnar.
I do. For whatever reason, they insist that this trivial matter has twisted the hands of fate to reveal the events surrounding my death.
And what is it they have seen?
At Ragnarok, all things must end and everything will perish. Fire shall rage and Asgard will burn. Sun and moon shall be devoured, and the realms shall flood with chaos and death. In these final moments, the All-Father, shall stand solemn and alone. He will face his final battle and perish at the malice of fangs of the great wolf, known only as Fenrir. He shall hear the oncoming howl of his end and rush to meet it.
Ominous tidings indeed. So, you believe that Loki's son will be—
No! I do not believe anything. The Vanir also spoke of a great tragedy that would befall this kingdom, which would herald the beginning of the end. My son dies, and all of a sudden, Loki's son just appears as if from nowhere. This is no mere coincidence, Tyr. That boy is nothing more than the proverbial wolf in sheep's clothing.
But he just appears to be an ordinary boy. How could he become this wolf you speak of?
His appearance is probably an illusion created by his witch of a mother.
Wait. Is this the reason you have had your hunters scouring the forests? You've been hunting wolves?
Well, how would you expect me to behave? Would you have me not act against any possibilities regarding this looming threat?
I would expect you to not act fearfully.
Fearfully? How dare you insinuate?
I insinuate nothing that I cannot see plainly with my own eyes. Your fear is making you behave rashly and without thought. You are much better than that, brother.
Then what would you have me do?
Think more logically. You are a wise and noble king. You have weathered through tough storms before. I have no doubt of your resolve.
I suppose you're right.
That does beg the question, though. If Lady Hel manages to return Balder to you, then what will become of Fenrir?
I haven't the slightest clue where to begin there. I just can't allow the instrument of my doom to walk freely. But I can't break my oath to Loki either.
You are an honorable man, brother. Utilize all the wisdom at your disposal. Here and here. I know you will find a just solution no matter where that may lead. Remember that you are the almighty All-Father, and that you do have the support within your kingdom.
Thank you, old friend. I do feel as though you may have cleared my head a bit on this matter.
Such is my duty and my pleasure.
Then it is a heavy burden you bear. But there are none other who shoulder it so elegantly. It does feel good to laugh, given the darkness of the past few days.
It is always important, especially in matters concerning death, to always hold on to the little things that make life all the more worth living. Besides, I believe taking a moment of respite during this time is exactly what Balder would have wanted.
Loki has returned, with Lady Hel in tow.
Have either of them said anything yet?
Only that they would reserve any talk of what you had requested until they had arrived for this audience.
Just like her to feel as though she needs to make a grand entrance during a time like this.
Let us not be hasty in judgment or to any rash actions at this time. It would not be prudent given what you need of her.
Please, do not say anything that may give her cause to refuse us.
Why would you think?
I mean it, Odin. If not for me, then please mind yourself for the sake of our child. Thank you.
Right this way, daughter.
Welcome, my lady. It has been quite a long time, but it is indeed a sight to behold to have you.
Has it been long? A funny thing about my particular gifts is that time does not exist linearly the way I am able to perceive it. It is more of a constant stream in which I see all that is and was. There I am, walking into this hole for the very first time, my eyes wide and mouth agape at all the grandeur of such a place. I am in awe by the ruler of this kingdom as he kneels before me and welcomes me with open arms. Quite a contrast between what is and what was. Wouldn't you agree, All-Father?
I wouldn't dream to presume the depths of your magnanimous abilities of perception, my lady.
I suppose not answering my question is an answer in its own right. And there, I am crying as you tell me I will be taking over my own kingdom, but I will have to be all alone to rule over the souls of the dead in the dark, frosty vale. That is what will become Helheim.
Please understand, with abilities like yours, this was the only way forward. You will be doing a great service to this kingdom.
There I am, pleading with my father not to abandon me. And just like always when presented with a challenging dilemma, he looks the other way, shying away once again from his responsibilities. Oh, yes. I have plenty of memories like that.
Daughter,
I am merely stating facts. That does not require you to speak. Yet, somehow, here we are. My father bartering your own son's life for my brother's. You needing me to provide mercy after denying me my own. Will wonders never cease? Fathers are supposed to be willing to do anything for their children, no matter what the cost. Tell me, King of the Aesir, what would you sacrifice for Baldur?
In what way, my lady?
It's a simple question. All things in life have a cost. Or did you think I would be providing my services freely?
Of course I know that. I simply ask what it is you mean when you ask for sacrifice. What is your toll?
Well, that entirely depends on you, doesn't it?
More bloody riddles and nonsense.
What was that, High One?
Odin.
She speaks in circles to taunt us rather than offering aid.
Oh, but it was you who requested it. Meaning, you should already be aware that anything I offer will not come without a price, or in your case, a hefty one. I need to be sure if you are as prepared as my father explained.
Then instead of rambling about costs, you should get to the point and name it.
You promised.
I promised to mind myself so that we may strike a deal. But how am I to remain calm while she simply dances around my request? You're toying with me.
Only a little. I wanted to see how much I could push you before you dropped your polite facade and showed me your true face. Good to know it doesn't take much.
You think it wise to jest me, given my plight?
You think it wise to challenge death? There is honesty in dealing with the dead, All-Father. The dead have no more time for secrets. All truths are bare. What is your truth?
My sweet, darling girl. Though, I suppose you are no longer just a girl. I do not know what memories you may hold in your perception of me, but please, if there's any care to be found within you, implore you to take pity on this poor, despairing mother.
Freyja!
I cannot speak to my husband's devotion, but I will beg and degrade myself in whatever way I must, if you would please hear our plea and let me hold my boy again. Balder was loved by all in this realm. Please, my lady. Our sun has not shined nearly as bright since his passing. I will do anything to have my beautiful Balder return. Anything.
A touching display. Though I never experienced it personally. I've been told a mother's love is truly something to behold. Could you even begin to possibly match that level of honesty?
You want my truth? Fine. I find everything about you detestable. The very fact that I have to request your aid makes my blood boil. But I want my son back, and as you previously heard, we will do whatever we have to. Now, stop playing with our emotions and tell me whatever it is you require in return, so that you will bring my boy home.
Now, was that so difficult? Ah, there it is. Nothing quite like the fresh air that resides for the living. Come to think of it, I suppose you are right that it has been some time since I've been able to see the sights of this realm.
I'm beginning to lose patience with this.
Daughter, please, remember what we spoke of.
You may be impatient, but I have all the time in the world to deliberate. Stomp and protest all you like. The only person whose time you're wasting is your own. Untense your jaw, High One, for I have made a decision.
Go on.
To return a departed soul, god or otherwise, is no simple task, and should not be taken lightly. If you want Balder to return to you, then I need a sign of good faith from your commitment to your child.
What do you need?
As I said, it has been a while since I last saw Asgard's splendors, and as such, I would like to enjoy my visit. I shall give you 3 nights to complete this errand. If Balder was as loved as the Queen claims, then it should be more than easy for everyone in this kingdom to weep for your son.
You would have me gamble with my son's soul.
Is it truly a gamble if you are so certain of the Lightbringer's importance of this world?
My son's life is not a game!
Neither is my brother's. But all that matters is that I am the one who can bring his soul back. Thus, the game shall be played by my rules. Unless, of course, you wish to disagree.
We accept your terms. In 3 days' time, we shall have this entire kingdom weeping for the loss of Balder.
Even if one person deigns to reserve their tears by fall of the 3rd night, then our deal is null, and Balder shall remain in the icy void of Helheim.
I understand.
Now that that's settled, I yearn to walk about and mingle amongst the subjects. Where shall my quarters be for the time being?
I would be more than happy to help you with anything you need.
Ugh, not you. Lord of Justice, I have not had the pleasure to speak with you as of yet. Do accompany me to my temporary quarters, wherever they may be.
But of course, it would be my honor.
Honored? My. Aren't you just delightful? Quite a refreshing departure from those who only use their manners to disguise their true intentions.
I'd assure you, my lady, Nothing I say is ever disingenuine.
Oh, don't worry. I can tell. Take heed, All-Father. Those watchful eyes of yours will be better used to survey those you hold dear within your kingdom. For I have the strangest premonition that what happened to Balder shall not be the last tragedy to befall you.
Is that a threat?
Merely a feeling, All-Father. Consider it free advice.
Well, you certainly kept your composure during that. Debasing yourself like that and groveling to someone beneath your station.
What other recourse did I have when I couldn't even rely on you to do the one thing that I asked?
I could barely get a word in. How could I even begin to mind myself when she would not even allow me to address our issue?
It's not as though you tried very hard on that front.
I will not tolerate blatant disrespect in my hall. I don't care how you're feeling. This is my kingdom.
Our kingdom. You belligerent chap.
Now you listen here.
If I may, this arguing solves nothing. You have 3 days to complete the task my daughter has set. This time would be better spent working together, not tearing each other apart. Wouldn't you agree, Javi?
You're right.
My queen?
Of course.
Splendid. Keeping that in mind, might I suggest our next course of action be to divide and conquer? If you both split your resources, we should have the quickest access of coverage to the kingdom.
Agreed. I can gather my informants and start spreading them over one end of the kingdom.
And I can do the same with my guards and servants.
All right, then we'd best not waste any time.
What is it now?
My apologies, sire, but Heimdall has just arrived at the castle gates.
Heimdall? I sent for him days ago. Why is he only now responding to my summons?
Well, sire, he said didn't want to show up without at least some form of report for you.
Does that mean he has completed his investigation?
Well, I'm not...
Just send him in.
Is it really that vital to speak to your gatekeeper now, considering the important matter at hand?
My gatekeeper, as you say, has eyes that are supposed to see all within this realm.
And how has that helped thus far with these matters?
I need answers as to how the Jotunheim got into our realm, as well as answers to what happened to our son and how to prevent it from happening again. Do not question the validity of my duties to this realm and their pertinence.
We have an opportunity to bring our son back. Does that not take precedence?
I am the king of Asgard. My responsibilities to this kingdom and the safety of its people come before all other duties, even those I have as a father.
That certainly could have gone better.
She's always been one to let emotion dictate over priority. Pay her no mind. However, you seem to be lost upon a sea of thought. What troubles you?
Oh, never mind me, Javi. It's merely a passing frustration. You have far more pressing concerns.
I do not merely ask out of curiosity, my friend. I need you sharp and undistracted in these trying times. So, be out with it before I'm forced to order you to do so.
Very well. It's regarding my daughter.
Her words troubled you, didn't they? What she said in regards to her perception of memories and your place in them?
It's just... I was so young when she was born and so very irresponsible.
I remember that pretty well.
The world of fatherhood just seems so daunting and imposing, but I can't imagine how she must have felt when we sent her to the realm of the dead at such a young age. That's the time a child needs their father. But where were my priorities in those days to allow such a thing to happen?
I see. She spoke bitterly of your devotion to Fenrir. Do you feel that he was your second chance?
I do. The day he was born, I swore never to allow anything to come between us the way I had with Hel. Ironic, isn't it?
Is that why you never told me about him?
What are you getting at?
I have been unable to figure out a reason as to why you would omit such an important milestone in your life. Is there something you know about him that would displease me?
He's a Jotun. Isn't that enough in your eyes?
Well, allow me to allay your troubled mind, my boy. Your priorities regarding Hel, whether intentional or not, were exactly where they should be. You are a pillar of this realm, and have a duty to protect the best interests of this kingdom, and carry out the will of your king above all else. Honestly, you did not have to allow anything, as that decision was dictated by me, your king. In service to your kingdom, your duties as a father will always come as second to that of your king.
Are you so certain it is that simple?
Loki, I have been blessed to have many children litter these halls, but they were raised with the mindset instilled within them of their responsibilities as well as mine. It is why they have all striven so hard for the prosperity of Asgard and its people. They understand this is the burden we must bear. As king, I am father to all, not just them. Hel would understand that as well if she had not been sent away so young. But that is no fault of yours. It was my will, and you honored your oath to support it. You did the right thing.
It certainly does not feel that way.
The important decisions rarely do. Have I addressed all your concerns?
Oh, you certainly have.
Good to hear. Now, do me a favor and send word to my guards about our plans. Perhaps this will at least calm the tension between the Queen and I for now.
Ah, there you go, little one. You could use this more than I can right now.
Where is he?
My lord, with respect, I do not think you
Out
can...
of my way, dog!
Thor? Is that you? Did Father send you to release me?
My king,
It is about bloody time! I requested your presence days ago, Heimdall! This tardiness is hardly to be considered acceptable!
Many apologies, my liege, but I...
Stand and face me when addressing your king!
Of course, sire. But I do not think it prudent to arrive here without first attempting to complete the investigations you tasked me with.
You mean to say that you think to speak for what I believe is prudent? You think your role as guardian of the realm gives you that authority?
No, of course not, sire. I merely meant before standing here with you, I wish to ensure that I had something of value to give you.
I have another serious matter that is in need of my time and attention, so I sincerely hope for your sake you have found something of merit.
Yes, sire. I believe so.
Well, I'm waiting.
Yes, my king. Apologies, my eyes were just showing me another place within the kingdom. I see Loki is rallying your guards. You think it's wise to allow him such authority?
That has not been made your concern. Focus on your own tasks and tell me what I need to know.
Of course. In the matter of the Jotnar attack, upon further inspection of the realm, after exhausting many alternatives of gathering evidence and much searching, I have concluded that there is no evidence or trail to be found.
You mean to tell me you kept me waiting for no answer at all?
You misunderstand, sire. I would not have come all this way to waste your valuable time. You remember how I said before that as if they appeared from nothing? I'm saying that after much exhaustive searching, I cannot find the evidence because there isn't any evidence of whatever was used to bring the Jotuns here. Nothing that makes sense anyway, which in itself is suspicious, but it's almost as if...
Almost as if great lengths have been taken to ensure that very result.
Precisely.
Interesting. But it is not as though they appeared out of smoke. There had to have at least been some clue to their location of where they chose their entrance, since I know you surely didn't allow them in.
Surely not. Regretfully, sire, I'm afraid that there were no such entrances to be found.
Have you searched for any traces of magics or spells that could have been used to disguise them?
As usual, sire, you were thinking exactly on the same track as myself. I have found some trace elements of spellwork in the realm, but no that has led me anywhere concrete.
That would be your evidence, then.
What do you mean?
You said there was nothing that made sense to you. But just because you can't explain it, doesn't mean it isn't there. Tell me, Heimdall, what do you know of Elder Giant magic?
I regret to say I did not even give that a thought. There isn't much known in this day and age outside of Jotunheim on the magics of the Elder Giants that came before. An excellent theory, my king.
It shows my age more than anything. In my younger, more rambunctious days, I ran across many a problem that could almost always be traced back to those damn mischievous giants. But I would certainly resume your search there with researching the giants.
At once. I would also be honored to hear any wisdom you may have on this subject.
Experience is often the best teacher, Heimdall. There is nothing I can teach you that the world you stand in isn't capable of doing on its own.
No, please, sire, I insist. There is genuinely so much I feel you can still teach me. Perhaps when time permits we can look into these traces more seriously together and...
What of the incident involving Baldir?
Of that incident, I have only been able to see it in pieces.
Pieces?
Fragments of events. I have only seen what took place before and the moment of Baldur's death. The moment before his passing.
And what of Fenrir, Loki's offspring?
Admittedly, I did not even see his existence in this realm until the feast, which means something, or someone, is still within the realm blocking my sight.
Oh? Could that mean Fenrir was involved with the Jotnar attack?
I certainly have my own theories on that matter, but it's tough to say given what little I have been able to see.
Then tell me what you have seen.
I have seen the little Jotun serving your guests. I saw him run off to obtain more weapons for the contest, and where he obtained the wood that struck the prince. But not how it would have been made possible to harm Baldur with a mere stick from Hodr's garden of all places. How is something like that even possible? Forgive me for not bearing better news.
No, your news is worthy of consideration. And worry not of how the wood was made lethal. I will have to deliberate upon those matters further. I'm afraid that at the moment, I have more distressing thoughts plaguing me.
Anything I can assist with?
Oh, you most certainly can. Though, I regret to say I'm afraid of what the answer might be.
I am happy to be of service to you in any way you desire, my king. All you need to do is ask.
Alas, as I am preoccupied with thoughts of one fallen child, I cannot help but be beguiled with thoughts of concern for my other son. I need to know, what of Hodor's involvement in all of this? Was it truly an accident? Or did my son have intent to kill in his heart when he delivered the final blow?
Your son may have been the one who delivered the final blow, but he is indeed innocent, All-Father.
Honest and truly.
My eyes tell no lies. I saw no intent, malicious or otherwise, in Hodr's actions. Only happiness and excitement to have been able to spend time with Baldur.
Oh, this glorious! Oh, what a relief I feel now. Oh. Of all the matters that remain uncertain, at least I have the peace of mind to know my sons would not murder their own kin. Thank you, Heimdall.
Ha ha! It genuinely brings me joy to put your mind at ease.
Is something wrong?
Your Highness,
What is it? What have you seen?
I'm not certain on how to tell you. I'm afraid. You may have spoken a bit prematurely regarding your sons.
What does that even mean? I order you to speak plainly!
All-Father, it's Hodr.
What's happened to Hodr?
All-Father, I'm so sorry, my liege. What brings you down?
As the All-Father kneeled by his son's body, he could only muster one thought that stuck in his mind. That Lady Hel had indeed been right when she said that the tragedy that befell Baldur would not be the last.
Odin's Hall stars Oliver Smith as the Old Man and Odin, Willa Snowbender as Freyja, Chris Aireart as Tyr, S.J. Harris as Loki, Cliff Jones as Thor, Wyatt West as Siegfried and Tim Hotston as Lauffey, Noelle Pennison as Lady Sif, Andrea Corte as Heimdall, Colima Acevedo as Lady Hel, with Wyatt Bowden as Hodr, and Vlasto Peyitch as the Asgardian guards. Story written and directed by Wyatt Bowden. Music scored by Pavel Grebstov. Audio engineered by Gibby Audio. Edited by Joseph E.W. Series art by Evan Colin. Series produced by CBW Productions.